What up? What up? What up, everybody? Wow. 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 Now, I'm saying wow because I cannot believe how many people have been attacking me. Like, people are really bitter in life. And it shows. And the fantasy world is no different. Yeah, it's like I did a post, I do rankings and stuff. I have players that I like. And all I see is, this didn't age well. Every player that you told me to get sucks. I'm like, every player? Austin Hooper didn't do good? MVS didn't show signs of potential? I don't know, guys. It's really sad because nobody goes and attacks. Well, maybe they do actually. But everybody's wrong, guys. Find me an analyst that told you to start Jamison Crowder. Actually, I kind of hinted at it in my my pre-live, my preview for this week's games. I did mention Jamison Crowder. You guys can go back to that. But name an analyst that told you to start Sammy Watkins against the Jaguars defense. Marquise Brown has been injured all offseason. DJ Shark. Find me those guys. Because it's crazy the amount of hate I've gotten. I can't help it that Mixon got hurt. I can't help it that Tennessee was behind the Browns were behind all game. Or that, Matt Nagy wants to ease his running back in there when he clearly is the best running back in Chicago. But I'll tell you one thing. I stand by my beliefs. Montgomery's going to ball the hell out. So is Mixon. So is Chubb. So is Murray, who showed signs. Guys, it's one freaking week. 1 week. 1 week. And I even warned you guys. I warned you guys about Winston. I was like, San Francisco's got a really good defense. I warned you about Chubb. Tennessee's got a really good defense. I warned you about Montgomery. They might want to ease him in there. So it's not like a warning. But guys, when I construct a roster, I construct my roster. I can't talk. I'm so fluttered. I construct my roster to win championships. Not win week 1, win championships. Okay? With that said, let's get into the recap because there's a lot of things you guys should know, should be aware of, that's going to help you win championships. All right, let's go. Rams and Panthers. I told you guys about Goff. I told you guys about Cam. I don't like these type of quarterbacks. Mitch Trubisky, the same thing. Because when the going gets tough, they fold. They fold. That's why there's certain quarterbacks I like and certain quarterbacks I don't. And that's why I don't spend high draft capital on these quarterbacks that fold like Jared Goff. 186 yards. Now, granted, don't get me wrong here, guys. Carolina's for real. Their defense is for real. I mean, CMC made them look like a bunch of clowns, but as a whole, they are for real, and CMC makes a lot of people look like clowns. But that front seven is as good as any. Gerald McCoy, this guy, Brian Burns that they drafted, they're for real, for real, for real. Gurley. Warned you about Gurley. He actually did better than I thought, to be honest with you, though. He played 70% of the snaps, which I was really shocked by. Only had 14 carries, only had 1 catch. So he wasn't the dominant Gurley. But at the same time, Carolina's Panthers defense is really good. And they're really good against the pass and the run. Although Malcolm Brown managed to sneak in 2 touchdowns there. Surprisingly, though, Darrell Henderson was a non-factor. Very, very surprised about that. Actually, not really so surprised. I guess I'm more surprised that Darrell Henderson hasn't been better than what he's been. I, for one, was not high on his talent per se because I watched his tape in Memphis and the holes were like this big. Same thing with Tony Pollard. They played for the same team in college. They both averaged like 7 yards per carry. So obviously it was more of an offensive system, offensive line. But for him not to be involved at all, I thought he would be involved as a pass catcher. I don't think he's picking up the offense. Darrell Henderson is pretty much droppable. I mean, he's just a stash back at this point, and I don't know if he's a very good stash back either because he's in that Darwin Thompson, Justice Hill, Damian Harris, that whole, stash back category that you keep as long as you don't need somebody to start that week, and then you drop him. What else can I take away from this game? Curtis Samuel. Everybody was talking about Curtis Samuel. Now, again, it's 1 week. But the reason I wasn't talking about Curtis Samuel is because Carolina's offense runs through CMC. It's kind of like the new Vikings. It's going to be Cook. It's going to be CMC, and then everybody else. DJ Moore is the one exception. I could trust DJ Moore as a low wide receiver 2, high wide receiver 3. I do like DJ Moore, and he showed it yesterday. Tough matchup, 7 catches, 76 yards. I do like DJ Moore, but there's not enough offense, not enough passing in Carolina's offense to garner, drafting another receiver like a Curtis Samuel. He wasn't going very early, but he's going to be thrown in that, big pot of boom or bust receivers. Okay. Kupp looked really good. Now, I love Kupp. Everybody knows I love Kupp, but I did not love him in this game. I didn't love him in this game because he's coming back from an ACL, first game back. But they threw him into the fire, and he produced. And he looked good, and I love Kupp moving forward. I have what's the word I'm looking for? No fear. I don't know. But, yeah, you can start Kupp with confidence. I love what I saw out of him. Because even when Goff only threw 186 yards, he was still able to put you 11 points. And again, that's not a lot, but it doesn't kill you. And most of you, all of you, if you listen to my content, have Kupp as a wide receiver too, which is a beautiful thing to have. Who else can we talk about here? Cam, again, boomer bust quarterback. He can get it done against the bad defenses, but now he faces a good defense, and you see what happens. Even at home, he had no touchdowns and a pick. Not what you want to see from your starter. Browns versus Titans. I'm a little concerned about Baker, guys. I am a little concerned. Because, I'm not concerned that Baker sucks, but I am concerned that he will be the top 5 to 7 quarterback that we pegged him as. Now, granted, Tennessee is a damn good football team. Not just defense. They're a damn good defense. They're a good football team. And I said this, Tennessee has playmaker, guys. Derrick Henry is not bad. I don't love him in fantasy and PPR because he's not a pass catcher, although he had a 75-yard reception. Don't ever expect that again. So let's not overreact to that. But he's a good player. And if they feed him like they did yesterday, he's going to continue to be a good player and a solid RB2. Now, he has a low floor because if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's not going to give you much in the passing game despite that 75-yard catch. So that's why I'm not in love with players like Henry. But with all that said, they are a good football team. And Mariota, 3 touchdowns. Cleveland is probably the best fantasy defense. They did have like 4 or 5 sacks. But for him to go on the road and throw 3 touchdowns against that defense with that pass rush and Denzel Ward, he did shut down Corey Davis. That's impressive, guys. That's really impressive. Now, Baker helped them by, throwing all those picks. I do like what I saw out of Nick Chubb. I love what I saw out of Nick Chubb. 17 carries, over 4.4 yards per carry. Dontrell Hilliard, he screwed up Nick Chubb's day, really. I wouldn't worry about him. He only had 1 catch for like 4 yards, and then he had 1 carry. It just so happened to be the goal line carry, which pisses me off. But forget about Hilliard. He's a nobody. Nick Chubb, guys, looked great. The points didn't show that. But, guys, Tennessee was the top 4 defense against running backs last season in fantasy. And Nick Chubb still had 17 carries, 70-something yards, 4.4 yards per carry. So you got to watch football. You can't just be a box score watcher. I love what I saw out of Nick Chubb. I'm not dropping him in my rankings. He is the man. And if you don't have Nick Chubb, I mean, I think 90% of my followers have Nick Chubb. But if you don't, go to hell and get him. If you don't have Montgomery, same thing. A.J. Brown, guys. A.J. Brown. This guy looked like a superhero in pads. Did you guys see A.J. Brown? He's going to be hard to trust. But damn, that dude looks like a monster. I already like him better than Corey Davis. Now, Corey Davis, again, lined up against Denzel Ward, had a tough matchup. I'm surprised about A.J. Brown, though. I thought Adam Humphries would get more burn being in the slot. A.J. Brown might be the best receiver as a rookie on that team. Watch out for A.J. Brown. Delaney Walker did his thing, 2 touchdowns. I said it on my live before the game. Watch out for Delaney Walker. Now, the Browns' weakness is against the tight end. So, obviously temper your expectations. But Delaney Walker, he's always been Mariota's favorite target. I worry about him because he's older and, he's coming off an injury. I'm worried that we might see another Greg Olsen situation that this guy's never been injured and then gets injured and then, gets injured, and he's gone. But Delaney Walker can be, a TE1 moving forward as long as he's healthy. Just don't expect these types of games. He's not going to play the Browns every single week. Ravens and Dolphins. Woo! Man. Lamar Jackson. Now, again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This was the Miami Dolphins. But what's interesting is the Dolphins' main weakness, this is crazy. The Dolphins' main weakness was stopping the run, which they showed that too, because Ingram went freaking crazy. All right. So, I expected that 2 touchdowns over 100 yards, whatever. But it looks like the Dolphins were so concerned with Lamar as a runner that he surprised them and was able to throw some balls to Marquise Brown. But again, let's not get crazy, guys. Let's not, pencil Marquise Brown into the Hall of Fame. Those were like wide open throws. Those were like, oh, shoot, you're not supposed to do that. And then he just took it to the house. They totally caught Miami off guard. I think teams will be more prepared now. And I think Lamar will go back to running more. I like Lamar as long as he can do that. I mean, he's a QB1. Don't make no mistake about it. It is the Dolphins. But if he could even be a decent thrower, with his running ability, high QB1. Not only QB, high QB1. Mark Andrews, again, the matchup was good. It was Miami. They did score 60 points. So when you score almost 60 points, 59 points, everybody's going to get a crack. Everybody's going to get a little piece. You know what I'm saying? So, again, temper expectations because, Hayden Hurst still had like a couple of catches himself, maybe 3 or 4 himself. But Mark Andrews obviously is the lead tight end there. And tight end's just a crapshoot anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's not very many great tight ends, but Mark Andrews, he's a starter. Dolphins, I'm not going to even mention them. I mean, if you want to take a dart and start Drake 1 week, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Baltimore is like the best at stopping the run. So I didn't expect much out of Miami as an offense as a whole, as a running back. Kalen Ballage looks lost. He just does. Drake's definitely the better back, but I wouldn't feel comfortable starting, Drake as anything more than a dart flex. Minnesota and Atlanta. This shit is weird, guys. Minnesota was just dominating the whole game, and it seemed like, Atlanta got some junk points at the end. Things I like about Atlanta, though, I think Ridley's a stud in a tough matchup against Trey Waynes. That touchdown was just a thing of beauty. He's such a great route runner. I would try to get Ridley. I mean, I've been, there's a player I've been telling everybody to get. How come I don't get credit for that? Told y'all to get Calvin Ridley. And he looks the part, guys. If something were to happen to Julio, with that foot, it's very possible. Ridley is a wide receiver 1. Easy. He might still be a top 15 receiver with Julio. And Hooper, Hooper, 9 targets, guys, as a tight end. That's amazing. Amazing. Love me some Hooper. How come I don't get credit for these guys? And look, guys, I'm not looking for your credit. I'm not looking for your credit. But what I am looking for is your trust. And a lot of you guys, I don't take that lightly, guys. I'm getting goosebumps. Look, can you see that my hairs are sticking up? I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. All right, guys? And I make mistakes, and I could be wrong. But I'm not ready to jump ship on these players just yet because I did extensive research, extensive viewership. Like, I watch these tapes. Like, I study. Like, before I go all in on a guy, guys, I cross every T, dot every I. Those are 2 players I like. Minnesota, unless you got Dalvin Cook, well, here's one I think I'm going to be wrong on. Thielen. Thielen, I don't see him as a top 10 receiver. Not if Kirk Cousins is throwing 10 passes. That one, I'm not going to jump ship because it's one game. But Jesus, I mean, it could be a result of Atlanta being bad against the run, which is why, look, Cook is good. He ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Atlanta, there's going to be a lot of running backs that have field days on Atlanta. But he is in that Gary Kubiak zone scheme. So, Cook, you could pencil him in easy, top 5 to 10 running back for sure. But again, it is Atlanta. I would have liked to see him get more receptions. But shit, when Kirk Cousins throwing 10 passes the whole game, which is why I can't feel comfortable, with Thielen being that top 10. I thought he was a top 10 slam dunk wide receiver because that's what he's been the last couple of years. Like, I was just shocked. So it could be, that Atlanta, but Atlanta's not even like a great secondary either. So it is cause for concern. I'm very concerned about Cousins. Thielen saved that touchdown, saved them. But after that, I would try to sell high on Thielen on that touchdown. Diggs, you're probably going to have a harder time selling. I'm more concerned about Diggs because he's going to definitely have to rely on that big play ball. He's going to have to rely on like a 60-yard touchdown for him to be valuable from what it looks like. Again, it could be one game, but, we saw it last year as well. It's good for Minnesota, and the bad thing is that Minnesota's defense is so good that I don't see them getting into any shootouts. You know what I'm saying? So there's cause for concern there. I just like Cook. Atlanta, I like Ridley and Hooper. Julio's Julio, but that foot still is a concern. So that's why I'm not putting him there. Bills and Jets. Bills and Jets. Everybody's probably like, what happened? I thought, Bell sucks. Guys, again, I look at things as a whole. I don't believe that Bell will make it the whole season, especially if they give him the same amount of touches. Now, in addition to that, I will say he looked really good. He did. But he also had a soft matchup. Buffalo was one of the most generous to giving fantasy points to running backs last season. So let's not all get all crazy because at the end of the day, he still only averaged 3.5 yards per carry. And guess what? You can't throw on Buffalo. You can't throw on Tre'Davious White. You cannot. So Robbie Anderson shut out, and he was playing with a bad calf. So you know what I want you to do? Go trade for Robbie Anderson. This is still a passing team. Adam Gase likes to sling it, guys. Go, but wait to trade for Robbie Anderson. Here's the plan, guys. Here's the master plan. The Jets have an early bye. The Jets have a bye, I believe, week 4. And guess what? I think they have a tough matchup coming up again, and then they have another matchup at New England. So Robbie Anderson is going to be at an all-time low because he's got to go against Gilmore, and he's got to bye, and some people might even drop him. Guess what you're going to do? That week 4 bye comes when nobody wants to, everybody's going to be dying to trade him because, they can't play him. He's playing like crap. You're going to be smart. This is what we do here. This is what Entourage does. We are playing chess. You see, while everybody's down on Chubb and everything, we're going to go get him. We're going to go get Aaron Jones. We're going to go get Montgomery because we're playing chess. These fools are playing checkers. And we'll take that week 1 L, and when we win the championship, we're going to screenshot. I'm going to be like, because that's what I do. All right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go and get Robbie Anderson, a potential wide receiver 1 in that bye week, because he's going to be an all-time low. You're going to be able to, like I said, some people might drop him. But anyway, Going back to this game. So the weakness that Buffalo has, and this is why we get in depth. Who else, what analyst is breaking down games like this, guys? That's why I'm not worried about these haters, guys. Look, game scripts. Every game is different, guys. Game flow, game script, it changes from opponent to opponent. Buffalo's weakness was against pass-catching backs and against the slot. That's why we saw Jameis Crowder get 17 targets. You think he's going to get 17 targets next week? Hell no. Now, I do think Jameis Crowder could be an effective receiver. I do. But he's injury prone. He's injury prone, but he could be a solid wide receiver 3 as long as he stays healthy. I do give him that. But 17 targets, 14 receptions, that was a situation where the coaches saw weakness in the defense and they exploited it. So again, sell high on Bell. I'm going to get more into the sell highs and the buy lows, but don't get it twisted. I'm not sold on Bell just yet. I'm not going back on my word just yet. Singletary. Woo! Wow. Singletary led the running backs in snaps, 48. Next one was Gore with 19. Singletary's the truth, guys. 4 carries, 70 yards. Are you kidding? And then he also had 5 receptions for 28 yards. Singletary is pretty much an RB2 at this point because I didn't think he was going to be so involved. I thought he'd be a complimentary back, which he is. But guys, he's already leading right off the bat week 1 in snaps. Oh, yeah. Singletary's the real deal. Josh Allen, division game, on the road. What I like about Allen, he didn't have a great game, but he still carried the ball 10 times. I love that. Love that he still carried it. Because so Allen will never kill you. Allen's always going to have that safe floor because of his legs. And he's a good quarterback. John Brown looked really good. He had over 100 yards. What do you have? 7 catches for 123 yards. Again, the Jets are pretty bad on the Jets corners are bad. So don't get too crazy about John Brown. I think Cole Beasley will have a pretty high floor. They've been targeting him like crazy. So he'll get you like those 10, 11 safe points. John Brown, though, I would sell high. He's always injured. Again, it's the Jets. The Jets are going to be bad. There's a lot of receivers going to get 100 yards on the Jets. Chiefs and Jags. Well, is Mahomes the GOAT or what? Can we just say Mahomes is the greatest quarterback ever? I mean, bro, Jaguars defense on the road? This dude has like a 300 yards in a quarter? He freaking revived Sammy Watkins from the dead? Sheesh. Now, I do think Sammy Watkins can produce that. Guys, Sammy Watkins is talented. Make no mistake about it. Sammy Watkins is a talent, but he's also super injury prone. But Tyreek Hill's out. Sammy Watkins is going to be a wide receiver 1. Yeah, believe it or not, until he gets injured. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This is why it might feel a little different. And he's one of those players, if you could buy low, fairly low from an owner that thinks, thinks he's selling high and being sneaky, I'd give Sammy Watkins a shot because he said he changed his diet. He said he's a mindful, because I'm a spiritual person. So when somebody tells me, they're in a different place, they're more mindful, they made they evolved as a human. You know who said the same thing? Carson Wentz. You know what Carson Wentz did this week? Yeah, he threw 3 touchdowns. So when people make that kind of shift in their life, and you mature, it's worth taking a risk. Why? Because what do I say, guys? Talent over everything, and it's never been a talent thing. But now it seems like I made a change in my life. I'm already talented. I'm in the most talented offense, and Tyreek Hill's out. So he's one of those players, I'm not selling high. I'm keeping Sammy Watkins. Because you know why? Because you got him late as hell anyway. So why not keep your 8th rounder who's going to be a wide receiver 1 till he gets injured? Or maybe this year was the magical year that he doesn't get injured. But you know what? Either way, it's worth keeping. It's worth keeping because you didn't pay a lot for him, and he'll still win you weeks early on. And then at that point, if he gets injured, he gets injured. Who cares? 8th rounder. But as long as he's in there, Dude is going to ball. Jags, I never even heard. Minshew? Who the hell is Minshew? So this leads me to ask two questions. Is this guy Minshew, an undrafted running back, any good? Or is Kansas City defense that bad where they let this undrafted rookie come in there and go 22 of 25, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns? I have more questions than answers when it comes to the Jaguars offense. This guy DJ Shark, though. DJ Shark. Because, again, I look for talent. This guy DJ Shark is runs like a 4.37, is built like an animal, like 6'2", or maybe even taller. I don't know. I didn't check the stats, but I know he was a pretty high draft pick, and he's fast as shit. And he looked damn good. Caught 4 passes, over 100 yards, had a touchdown. He's currently the wide receiver 4 in the depth chart. But this guy is someone worth keeping an eye on. Because when talent meets opportunity, D.D. Westbrook might take a hit. D.D. Westbrook's a damn good receiver, though. He still had a touchdown. That kind of saved him. Otherwise, not the greatest stat line. But the strength in the Kansas City Chiefs is their slot corner. So, D.D. Westbrook, not a buy, not a sell. His situation is definitely downgraded now that Nick Foles is not the quarterback. But, you got to keep him. You got to keep him. But I'm curious to see who ends up being that number 1 receiver. Because DJ Shark has all the physical attributes to be a number 1 receiver. The speed, the size, the strength, the talent. We'll see, though. We'll see if it's one game. Because Kansas City, like I said, I don't know, bro. Kansas City might have some issues with that secondary if they let an undrafted rookie quarterback come in there and look like Joe Montana. That's all I got to say about that. Damian Williams had a good game. Shady looked good too, though. So I think Damian Williams is going to continue to decrease. So that's somebody I actually would sell high on. Because you still got Darwin Thompson lurking. Shady looked good. Damian Williams probably played the most snaps he's going to play all year, being that Shady was just acquired. But he had 18 points against the Jags. Pretty freaking impressive. That just goes to show, though, anybody these guys plug in at running back, Kansas City, is going to ball. Sell high on Damian Williams would be my suggestion. Colts and Chargers. I said this would be a close game. It was a close game. The only difference is I didn't think it would be this high scoring. I thought it would be more of a defensive game. Rivers just continues to shut me up, to be honest with you. That one, I might just be wrong. I could never trust Rivers, and he just keeps balling. Like, Indianapolis Colts are a pretty good defense. Now, granted, they had to travel all the way to L.A. That's a trip. Anytime you guys got those East Coast teams, traveling west and vice versa, those games are a little tricky. But Jacoby Brissett is what I said he is and what I expected. He's efficient. He won't kill it for you. He won't win it for you either, but he won't kill it for you. And he had just under 200 yards, but he threw 2. Now, the one I'm impressed with is T.Y. Hilton. I was off that bandwagon. Chargers have one of the best secondaries in the league, and T.Y., all he did was catch 2 touchdowns, had 80-some yards. That's almost half his team's yards. T.Y., very, very impressive game. Still not sold on him being, consistent, but damn, that was impressive. And he might just be consistent because now Funchess has a broken collarbone, so he's going to be out sometime, if not the year. So T.Y., still have him as a wide receiver 3, maybe a wide receiver 2 now, though. Probably a low wide receiver 2. So very, very impressed by T.Y. Hilton on the road in a tough matchup. That was impressive. Matt, sell high. 25 carries. If Matt continues to get 25 carries, you better believe he's getting injured. I have no faith in this guy staying healthy. If they use him like that, and on top of that, now he's very talented, don't get it twisted. But if they continue that usage, I think he'll get injured. And on top of that, he didn't get no targets. He had no work in the passing game. So that's a lot to ask. It's kind of like Derrick Henry. These guys, if they don't score a touchdown, they don't go nuts, rushing, get 100-yard games, which is very hard to do these days, they're going to have low floors. So I would definitely sell high on Mac, but he looked impressive. But again, Chargers not known for stopping the run. Let's make that clear. So Mac, good game, but nobody I'm sold on yet. Keenan Allen, again, like Rivers, this guy continues to shut me up. Like, I wasn't super down on Keenan Allen. I wasn't super high on him. I think Keenan Allen is a stud, but his injuries scare me. And he also tends to have quite a few clunkers. But the guy is great. And he showed it yesterday. Arguably one of the best slot corners in the league. He made more his, you know what. I mean, 125 yards. Is that what he had? 128 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen is a baller. He is a baller. Straight up. Elite, elite wide, probably like a low wide receiver one. Keenan Allen's a baller. Eckler, how can I forget? This guy's pretty much an RB1. Low RB1, high RB2, for sure top 15 as long as Melvin Gordon's out. Now, again, the matchup was really good. He's not going to get, 2 catching touchdowns every game. Let's make that clear. But he did, surprisingly, he led the team not only in receptions. Justin Jackson was a non-factor in the passing game. But he led the league he led the team in carries. So I was surprised about that. I think he had like 12 carries. I expected him to be definitely a threat receiving, but it's also encouraging that he had 12 carries. He is for sure in that offense with that type of value. Again, low RB1, high RB2. Absolutely love Austin Eckler. Bengals and Hawks. Very, very interesting game. And further proof why I don't like Russell Wilson this year. Guys, it's not going to get any better than Cincinnati at home. And Russell Wilson didn't even have 200 yards passing. Didn't even have 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Lockett, 1 catch, 44 yards. Granted, it was a touchdown. Don't like him. You guys know I've never been high on Lockett. He relies too much on it. I don't like those receivers that rely on the deep ball. That's why, we'll get into this in a little bit, but Deshaun Jackson's going to be one of those guys because Deshaun Jackson has to rely on the big play. Don't like receivers like that. Carson, again, I mean, the passing work saved him. He did have I love the fact he led the team in targets. Go figure. Chris Carson, not a pass catching back, led the team in targets. By the way, Rashard Penny is nothing more than a handcuff and not even a good one. So Rashard Penny, if you need somebody, you could drop him. You got a Carson owner, you could even drop him as a Carson owner. You want to keep him, that's fine. But I don't think Penny's the type of back that is just going to go in there in place of Carson. Kind of like Alexander Madison, if something happens to Cook, Minnesota won't skip a beat with Alexander Madison. Penny, I'm kind of weary about Penny. Now, I'd be less eager to drop him if I have Carson. So I'd probably hold on to him unless I have like a really good player that I want to pick up. But if you don't have Carson, you could drop Penny. So yeah, Carson wasn't really 3.1 yards per carry against Cincinnati, known for being really weak against the run. Not too encouraging, but the passing worked. So he still ended up with 2 touchdowns. He was one of my favorite plays in DFS. I started him everywhere. But I didn't like the fact he didn't have a great receiving game. Who was impressive and who I've been, again, another name. You see, a lot of people don't really follow me like that. They just follow my posts. You guys, I'm sure, follow me pretty good. If you're here watching my live, didn't I tell you Andy Dalton is kind of a sneaky play, especially in 2 quarterback leagues? 2 guys I mentioned balled the hell out. Stafford and Andy Dalton. I'm the only one that I've heard saying these guys could be pretty good quarterbacks, fringe quarterbacks based on, Stafford based on his weapons. He's never had this many weapons. And Dalton based on his system. I was so impressed. Guys, 400 passing yards for Andy on the road in Seattle with no AJ Green and a hurt Mixon. That was freaking impressive, guys. That was impressive. I like Mixon a whole lot more now I mean, I was already high on him. But if Andy could do that on the road in Seattle, his first game with no A.J. Green, with his left tackle out, his second left tackle, Jonah Williams out for the year, Cordy Glenn out with a concussion, and the dude has 400 yards on the road, John Ross, 8 receptions. What did John Ross have? 7 receptions, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This guy was all but dead in the water. Now, Seattle is bad in the secondary. But I don't care, guys. That's at Seattle, the 12s. That's one of the hardest places to play without your left tackle or number 1 receiver. By the way, guys, another guy that I'm all in on, but nobody wants to give me credit. Everybody just wants to bring up Chubb and Montgomery. Boyd looked like everything I expected. He was a target monster. 8 catches, 60 yards. Not a lot of yards, but 11 targets, safe floor. See, those are the guys I like. Safe. You know they're going to pepper him with targets. John Ross, I don't expect that again. Andy Dalton, though, guys. Giants, Evan Ingram. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to continue to do that because the Giants have nothing else. Dallas, again, similar to some of these other teams, like the Browns, the Dolphins suck everywhere, but Dallas is susceptible to the tight end. So Evan Ingram's going to ball regardless, but, he's not going to ball this good every week. He's going to face Dallas every week. But Evan Ingram looked good. Eli, it's just a matter of time before he gets benched. Again, he didn't kill it, but guys, they're just really safe with Eli. It's like he doesn't – not that he has the playmakers to launch it, but it's just a matter of time before Daniel Jones gets in there. Poor Saquon. This guy, first carry, rips it 59 yards, but game flow didn't get more than, I think 11 carries. But the real story here, guys, Dak freaking Prescott, 400 yards. Dak. That offensive coordinator, he's good. I noticed there's a shift in the NFL. All the bright minds are younger than me. They're your age. No, not your age. A lot of you guys are super young. But guys, this what is his name? I think his name is Moore. This guy, he might be the next McVay. And Zach Taylor, look at these guys. These guys are 30 years old. LaFleur, Zach Taylor, Sean McVay, now this offensive coordinator for Dallas. But this guy, he knows what he's doing. Dallas was last year. Dallas was super conservative, boring snoozers. This guy's just going after it. He's peppering Cooper. He's peppering Gallup. See, I love Gallup's talent. And actually, I mentioned him in my preview before the game. I said this is a Michael Gallup type game because I figured Janoris Jenkins on Cooper, which means Gallup, has the better matchup. But they both balled. Last time Jenkins shut down Cooper, not this time. Cooper made him his what. And Gallup, guys, the reason I didn't like Gallup more is because I was like, Dak, I don't think he's a quarterback to be able to keep one wide receiver one, let alone another fantasy relevant wide receiver. I might be wrong. I might be really wrong. And Michael Gallup might be somebody I'm targeting because, Cooper, he was battling a foot injury. He made it out unscathed, looked really good. But if something happens to Cooper, I think Gallup could slide right in and be that wide receiver one. He's kind of like a handcuff. If you have Cooper, I would handcuff him with Gallup. It's all about making sure you have secure players. Secure players, and you secure production. If you have Dallas number 1 receiver, I think that's going to be secure production, surprisingly. I wouldn't have said that just 2 days ago. I didn't know Dak was going to turn into freaking Kurt Warner. And a lot of people are like, guys, relax. It's the Giants. What you guys fail to realize, though, the Giants were actually a really good secondary last year. And they have everybody back in their secondary. So it's the division game. You can't discount it. I can't tell you well, division games are tough. And then when it's Dallas, say, well, it's the Giants, they suck. Guys, it's a division game. What Dak did, do not discount what Dak did. Do not discount what I saw. And I saw creativity. I saw aggressiveness. I saw potential in that Dallas offense. Zeke's going to be Zeke. Tony Pollard, I told you guys, like, relax with Tony Pollard. You know, we saw it. He averaged like 2 yards a carry. Tony Pollard, he's nothing but a handcuff. Dallas offense. Cards and Detroit. Told you guys, Matt Stafford is my sleeper. I told you guys he was going to be a fringe quarterback one. Now again, I'm not going to be like that guy that says, Matt Stafford, I told you guys. It was Arizona. They were down their 2 corners. So I still don't think, Stafford is a slam dunk QB1, top 10 or anything like that. He's going to throw 385 yards and 3 touchdowns every game. No. But what I did say, in 2 quarterback leagues, in DFS, in best ball, I said if you strike out with all the quarterbacks, Matt Stafford, you can feel okay. He won't kill it for you. He's not going to win it for you. And as far as fantasy, although he did, if you started him, yesterday, pretty much nobody did. I actually did in DFS and have him some best ball. But guys, Matt Stafford is a good quarterback. And have you looked around and I've been saying this all offseason. And it's kind of unfortunate because I don't know if I like Kenny Golladay that much because, guys, Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones on the outside, TJ Hawkinson and Amendola in the slot, tight end in the middle, with Kerryon Johnson, that's a potent offense. Like, that's weapons, guys. I don't know top to bottom if there's another team or another quarterback that has as many weapons, believe it or not, as Matthew Stafford. And that kid, TJ Hawkinson, that's not now, again, kind of like Evan Ingram, kind of like Delaney Walker. Arizona is one of the worst at defending the tight end. But I don't give a damn. This kid, TJ Hawkinson, is the highest rated prospect at the tight end position to come into the draft since, I don't know, pick a name. Vernon Davis. This guy has it all. And he's a tremendous pass blocker. So he won't be leaving that field. And he showed it yesterday. Now, I wasn't as high on TJ Hawkinson, again, not because of talent. It was because I never seen Detroit feature the tight end. These ain't your dad's lines. And with all that, they still only tied. They were one of my sleepers to make the playoffs, and they tied against Arizona. That sucks. If I'm a Lions fan, talking outside of fantasy, that's embarrassing, man. That defense was damn good. They got weapons everywhere. Amendola, 7 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. What a pain in the you-know-what. Ain't nobody was looking out for Amendola. You was drafting Golladay. A lot of people like Marvin Jones. I'm really worried. I'm worried about Golladay. Marvin Jones is borderline droppable. Now when you got Amendola and TJ Hawkinson and Golladay and Kerryon, where's his points going to come from? Definitely not consistently. He's going to be like a Hail Mary, DFS, desperate play. Jones, damn. Stafford, TJ Hawkinson, Golladay is okay. He'll have some blow-up games, but he might have, I expected more. But, yeah, as far as Arizona, DJ, like, I admit when I'm wrong. Now, I still had DJ as an RB1. I think I ranked him number 9. I just said as a top 5 pick. And I still am not totally, game flow has a lot to do with it. And DJ didn't really do much till later in the game. He had that receiving touchdown. But if he gets this type of volume, 18 carries, I was shocked. I did not expect DJ to get 18 carries. But again, it did go into overtime. So you got extra time. I'm not willing to say I'm completely wrong on DJ. He still might end up top 10. And again, I still wouldn't have drafted in the top 5. So 2 guys, because again, I want to admit when I'm wrong. 2 guys I'm worried about. being wrong or not worried about. But anyway, DJ, there's a possibility he could potentially be top 5. And Adam Thielen could potentially be outside of the top 10. Those two, and again, it's only 1 week, but those two, but even if I'm wrong, I still said DJ is top 1 running back, just not top 5 pick. So clear that. Kyler Murray looks like the truth. I hate that he faces Baltimore next week. I got Kyler Murray in like all my leagues, except for the thrones. But Baltimore is tough, guys. Yesterday I said on my live on Instagram, I was like, Kyler Murray's a must start going forward. I didn't realize he was going against the Ravens. So he's a must start going forward week 3. I mean, he still might get you that floor, but at Baltimore, guys. I don't know if I'm starting Kyler Murray at Baltimore. Well, but with all that said, guys, Kyler Murray's the real deal. Kyler, you know what I like about Kyler Murray's a winner. He had an atrocious first half. Let me tell you something. That Detroit defense is for real. They were one of the best secondaries last year, and they added Justin Coleman, one of the best slot corners. They already had a shutdown corner in Darius Slay, and they added Trey Flowers, tremendous pass rusher. So that Detroit defense is for real. And Kyler Murray struggled. Like I said he would. I told you guys, it's not a good game for Murray. But darn it, that kid is resilient. He's a winner. He is the real deal, guys. Make no mistake about it. He came back that second half. He rallied the truth. And old man Fitz, I don't expect him to get 8 catches, 100-some yards, and a touchdown. But the man has still got it. He still could be a wide receiver 3. Kirk was a disappointment, but then he wasn't a disappointment because he still had Christian Kirk still had 12 targets, only caught the ball 4 times, but I didn't watch the game, so I'm not sure if that was a Darius Slay factor, if he was predominantly on Kirk, which is my guess. But you got to like the usage. So Kirk is somebody I'll probably buy low on because if he's going to continue to get, double-digit targets, eventually he's going to get his. He's not going to face Detroit every week. So kind of like Robbie Anderson, Kirk's going against Baltimore, which means he'll probably have another bad game, which means, because I'm always thinking ahead, let him have another bad game and then sneak up on that owner, be like, hey, I'm looking for another receiver, start asking around. Christian Kirk's, I'll take Christian Kirk off your hands, It looks like you need another receiver yourself or a tight end or whatever you got extra of and be like, I'll take Christian Kirk off your hands and boom. Potential wide receiver, high wide receiver 3, high wide receiver 2. Again, guys, see, too many people, too many analysts are so in the moment, are so biased because they're scoreboard watchers. They're box score watchers. They're like, bad game for Christian Kirk, bad game for Christian Kirk. He sucks. I'm dropping him. I study, guys. Christian Kirk's a talent. And if he's getting that type of volume, eventually he's going to produce. There's been plenty of players that had 2 bad weeks and then took off, fantasy studs. We at Entourage, we're playing chess. These dudes are playing checkers. We're thinking ahead. So Christian Kirk, going to be good. Niners and Bucks. Oh my God, you told me Winston's gonna be so good. Oh my God, you suck. You're the worst analyst. Could it be that the Niners have a really good defense? I think so. Remember, guys, Winston has been a QB1 before. As bad as he was last year, he was still top 15. The Niners, guys, I don't know if you noticed. Again, a lot of you guys, some of you guys are really into fantasy. Some of you guys are casual viewers. You only pay attention to offensive players. I get all that, and I respect not everybody's fantasy level of commitment is like mine. Not everybody does this for a living, which is why it pisses me off when people that don't do this for a living or don't do this come at me and they're like, yo, you told me to do that. And it's 1 week. Some of you guys were coming at me at halftime. Like, what the? Like, at least let the game finish. And then again, it's not you guys. Guys, the Niners, they have Buckner, one of the best sack guys. They have they just added another one of the best sack guys, D Ford, whatever his name is, Ford. Damn, I can't think of his name. Yeah, from Kansas City, he had like 13 sacks last year. You have two guys on that defensive front that had double-digit sacks last year. And then you just added the number one pick, or everybody thought was going to be the number one pick, but then Cardinals went. You added Nick Bosa, the best pass rusher in the draft. You literally have arguably the best you're going against arguably the best defensive line in the league. You could make a case for Carolina and the Eagles as well. In a new system. Evans was sick. Guys, let's not jump the gun. Let's give him at least another week or two. Bruce Arians, last time I checked, is an offensive wizard. Chris Godwin led the team in targets, only had 6. You think Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are going to get 6 targets and 4 targets every week? No, they're going to get close to double-digit targets every week. And again, I told you guys, Chris Godwin, I'm all in. Even in a bad game, he still scored a touchdown. I don't know. Nobody talks about that. But guys, don't jump off. Now, this is the way it goes. If you're in a league, a lot of people are in leagues where they have a lot of quarterbacks on waivers. You know what I'm saying? You still have Matt Stafford. You still have Darnold. You still have Josh Allen. You could drop Winston maybe in one of those leagues if you're picking up somebody good, somebody worth it. And if you have another starter that's better or equal to. Now, if you got Murray as your starter, he's going against Baltimore. I mean, Winston's game this coming week. So I'm bracing you guys right now. Winston might have another tough week. Again, division opponent on the road. The other team I said that has the best defensive line, the Carolina Panthers. Those are his 2 first games. That's tough, guys. Goff was one of the best quarterbacks in the league last year. He had 186 yards against Carolina on the road. So don't expect Winston to have a great game this next week either. But I know what I know and I see what I see. Winston's always been turnover prone. I'm not going to deny that. I don't expect him to continue to do that. If he does, he's going to be – Bruce Arians will not tolerate that. Okay, so that part I'm disappointed about. Okay? But give him another week. Godwin, if people panic about him or Evans, buy him ASAP. O.J. Howard. Guys, this offense is elite. And guess what? Ronald Jones actually looked pretty good. Who would have known? Ronald Jones. He has a pulse. So if Ronald Jones can look decent, they still got 3 tremendous pass catchers. O.J. Howard is elite. Godwin is elite. And Mike Evans is elite. And Cameron Brate ain't bad. And O.J. Howard played the most snaps he's ever played in his career. San Francisco's really good against tight ends. So O.J. Howard, I don't know if I'd buy low on him per se. I do love his talent, freak athlete, but injury prone. So if you got O.J. Howard, this is for people that have O.J. Howard. Don't sweat it. He'll produce, but I still am worried about the injuries. On the Niners, you see, this is the funny part. As bad as Winston played and the Niners won, I'm actually more concerned about the 49ers offense than the Bucs offense. Why? Jimmy G starting to feel real busty. Hate to admit it, because I'm a Niners fan. Starting to feel real busty. That was the game I watched most. There was no playmaking involved. And even Kyle Shanahan, I'm a little disappointed. It's like, yeah, he's really good at the zone scheme. He's really good at, using his running backs as pass catchers. But what the hell is he doing for receivers? It was like Kittle, running back, Kittle. You're like, what is this? What is this crap? It was all short passes. He did not open up the playbook at all. Jimmy G, Now, Dante Pettis. A lot of people concerned about him. A lot of people are like, you told me to start Pettis. Look, he practiced in full. I didn't know he was going to play 2 snaps. How was I supposed to know he was going to play 2 snaps? At the same time, that's actually a positive, and I'll explain to you why. Because Shanahan said that it had more to do with him being behind due to the injuries, due to the groin. Now, it's never a good thing when a player has a groin, but if he played 2 snaps and the coach said, well, you know, there's other guys we want to use or whatever, then I'd be like, drop them. I got no problem cutting players. Guys, one thing about me, it might sound like I have a long leash. I have the shortest leash, and that's actually my Achilles heel. That's my Achilles. I'm willing to admit my flaws because nobody's perfect. My flaw is 2 things. Sometimes I draft too much for the future. Like a lot of times, the times that I haven't made the playoffs is because my team came on too late because I see the future too much in the future, and then I'm screwed in the present. Because, yeah, Edelman gets hurt, but in the meantime, Edelman's killing it for 4 to 6 weeks. And I predict Edelman getting hurt, and I'm right. But the problem is that I also predict, you know, Cooper Kupp balling, and then he doesn't ball till 6. You know, so that is my Achilles heel. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, my flaws. And my other flaws is I cut guys too early. So I'm trying to be more patient. All right? So don't get it twisted. I have no problem cutting guys. But when I know a player is as talented as Pettis, and when the Niners have nothing else, that's when I'm a little more patient because the coach said, he's like, look, he's behind, he's battling a groin, so don't cut Pettis just yet. Now, I'll give him a week or 2. Now, I got to see, there's got to be you can't just go 2 snaps 2 weeks in a row. No, you're getting cut after that. But the fact is that he is behind and they wouldn't want to overextend him because of the injury. That's actually a positive because it's not because they're not playing him. So, and again, Deebo Samuel's fumbled. Nobody else showed anything. Dante Pettis could still be that guy. Don't give up just yet. But Jimmy G, I'm worried about. Coleman's injured. Don't like that. This guy's going to be on my way. You see, I love that. You know why I love that you guys are here? Because I know the guys listening right now are my true fans, my true supporters. This is Entourage, and this is where you get the juice. So this reminds me a lot of Nick Chubb. Now, it does and it doesn't. All right. So a lot of analysts right now are saying, pick up John Brown, pick up Marquise Brown, pick up, who are the hot names right now? TJ Hawkinson, whatever. I'm going to do a whole waiver wire. I'm going to get into more about the waivers later. I will save that for tomorrow, but this is what I'm saying that to say this. Raheem Mostert. I haven't heard anybody mention him on their waivers. Raheem Mostert. And you know what's great about Raheem Mostert, guys? And this is what I love to do. I never use my waiver. I never use my fob money. You know what I do? I wake up early after waivers, after everybody used all their waivers, and I look for deals. I bargain shop. Who's left over? And Raheem Mostert is going to be one of those players that are left over. And guess what, guys? Coleman is injured. Breida, he got injured that game, and he came back. It's just a matter if he gets injured. Mostert last year averaged 7.7 yards per carry. We know whoever's starting in San Francisco, they have enough in that offense to produce 2 running backs. Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Even this game, Coleman was doing it, Breida was doing it. Raheem Mostert actually had the second most carries to Breida, and he didn't come in the game till after Coleman got hurt. And he had the most yards per carry, and he's a pass-catching back. The guy has elite track speed. So let all these guys get their little John Browns and Marquise Browns, and what you're going to do, you're going to wake up, everybody use their waivers, and you're going to end up with the number 1 waiver without having to spend a waiver. Believe it. Because as long as Mostert plays, he'll be he'll split with Breida, but he'll be relevant. He'll be relevant. And as long as Coleman is out, you can start him as your flex with confidence. Watch. Always thinking outside the box. I'm giving you guys the game. I give you my best stuff on the live because you know what? There's only 24 of you guys. I'm on here an hour, but I make sure that I bring it because I care. And nobody's talking about this stuff. Nobody. Everybody talks about the obvious. We dig deep because we're always thinking ahead. We're playing chess while these dudes are playing checkers. I'm telling you guys who to pick up in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm telling you guys, get Robbie Anderson in week 4. I'm telling you guys, get Christian Kirk in week 3. Boom, we're going to build this team. And by the time when everybody's coming down because their bench sucks and the bye weeks fill in, you don't skip a beat because your bench is loaded and you got players that are ascending. What else? Last but not least, Sunday night. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say other than how come I don't get credit for this? What receiver have I been so high on more than anybody in the galaxy? Juju Smith-Schuster. Duh, we all know that. But last night was the perfect example of why I love me some Juju. Do you guys see what the Patriots defense does to offenses? Pittsburgh scored 3 points. Yet my man Juju, my main man Juju, still with Stephen Gilmore, the best cornerback in the league, still 6 catches, 78 yards. Not a great game. But if that's my worst game, that's what I call an anchor. Even in the worst and the toughest matchup where your offense scores 3 points, he still had 13.8 points. That's an anchor. That's a number 1 receiver. That's who I want on my team. And that's why I was telling every single one of you, get you Juju. That's big, guys. That is big. Those are the type of players I want you to have. The Tyler Boyds, the Chris Godwins. Their team play like crap. Well, Cincinnati played good. But Tyler Boyd, safe floor. Chris Godwin, safe floor. Juju, safe floor. Even in the toughest matchups, toughest environments. We just got to get those running backs playing to par. You know what I'm saying? It's not every week that Mixon's going to get hurt, that Coleman's going to get hurt, that Chubb is going to be out of the game script. And facing a remember, Tennessee top 4 against running backs. Once those running backs start kicking, and all of you guys, because you're a reflection of me, have 6 running backs, I got Duke Johnson as my running back 4. So if one goes down, the other goes in. So, you guys, thank you for your faith in me. Trust me, things are looking up, and I'm here to guide you along the way. Championships are not won in week 1. Last year, Travis Kelce had 1 point. He had a record-breaking season, best fantasy tight end season ever. Alvin Kamara didn't break out till week 4 for you guys that are scared about Montgomery. Coaches have to, they want to be able to trust their running back, guys. It takes a couple of weeks. They like to ease them in there. But guess what? When it comes to Nagy, when that seat starts getting hot and the Bears fans like, you drafted this guy 3rd round. He looks amazing. What the hell are you doing? When that job's on the line, you best believe he's going to go to Montgomery. So don't worry. I would talk about New England, but Brady's Brady. He's at home, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Gordon takes a hit with AB. Edelman's going to be Edelman. Did his thing. 6 catches, 83 yards. Dorsett, he had a good game, but obviously it's nobody I'm really. Michelle, though, 15 carries for 14 yards. I think Pittsburgh's going to have a good run defense, especially now they got a linebacker in Devin Bush. Connor had a bad game. Had 4 receptions, 44 yards. That's one takeaway I will say. Looks like Pitt's still same old Pitt. A lot of people thought Jalen Samuels was gonna, eat into James Conner. Jalen Samuels. Jalen Samuels is nothing more than a handcuff. All right. So yes, if something were to happen to Conner, Jalen Samuels won't skip a beat, but it's still Conner's backfield. But he didn't do crap. So yeah. That's what I think that sums up all the games, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be doing a live tonight as well. That's where I'm going to go into the questions, guys. I'll probably do a live stream, the whole game. Maybe do a preview of the games and then maybe just stay with it. I don't know. But thank you. And until next time.